Hello again, guys. How y'all doing again? It's just a little bit after lunchtime. After this, I'm going to go eat some delicious macaroni and cheese and Texas toast that I made to welcome my family back home from their vacation. But yes, guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993. Get used to this because we're probably going to do this for the next couple weekends. But we, once again, are live for my live review of Friday night AEW Dynamite. As for the second week in a row, Dynamite took place on a Friday night. Next Friday, it's also going to be taking place at the same time, 10 o'clock, well, Pittsburgh time, on TNT. And actually, on June 26th, it'll be Saturday Night Dynamite, which that's going to be the show where Jungle Boy takes on Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship there. But we got lots to talk about, guys. We had some big news. A big debut happened on this show. And a few other things to talk about. Good Dynamite. Very excellent. It was a great show. I mean, a couple of things I'm going to nitpick at a little bit. But I loved it. I thought it was a great show. And of course, for the first time in a while, had to update a background again. Yep, because this show is now ran by D.M.D. Unfortunately, though, AEW sucks in one thing, and they never have PNG images of their champions with championships. Like, of all people that should have had a PNG image with the women's AEW Women's World Title on, you have like WWE has how many of these people like upload these like fantasies of like different wrestlers holding like a championship, like they like Bayley holding the WWE title, for example, like it happens. So it's like you think at this point they would have one with Dr. Britt Baker holding the women's AEW World Championship. AEW Women's World Championship. Like, even with her talent, you'd think they'd have one of her holding the AEW World Championship, the men's title. But they don't. So for now, Dr. Britt Baker's not going to get the respect that she feels she deserves, and she's going to be titleless on this graphic until they find one. We'll see. We'll see where they go with that. But other than that, great episode of Dynamite last night. I didn't really get to watch the main event though because that's when my family was arriving. But I wasn't really super duper interested in that bull rope fight anyways. But we'll still talk about the show, go through it. Then I gotta get ready to leave because I'm going to watch my Suckos. Yeah, Suckos, but Buckos. First game in 2 years I've gone to, of course. With my good old friend Daniel, guys, and just enjoy the afternoon. 4:05 game, playing the Miami Marlins. Cool. Anyways, let's talk about the show. Check the live chat first. We've got Mark. What's going on, Mark? Do you think Red Velvet is getting a push? I can see Red Velvet getting a push. She's definitely impressed me, especially when she kind of got that spotlight against Jade Cargill and Shaq when Cody took on Shaq in a very good mixed tag match. I think on the Go Home show before Revolution. That was a very good match. To me, Red Velvet feels like the Jungle Boy of the women's division. Like, she feels like a talent that, like, they're probably not going to put, like the world title on them yet, or, like, the main title on them yet. But, like, you know, like, they're definitely like the big underdog baby face of the division, it feels like. That's what Red Velvet feels like to me. But I can see a push coming. Now that, of course, full crowds are back, they're probably going to start, pushing, Jungle Boy more, and people like Red Velvet more, because I heard that Jungle Boy is supposed to get a push much sooner than he is. Problem is, though, again, they didn't want to push him basically, push him at his best when there was no crowd. That's what happened, of course, with Drew McIntyre last year when he was champion. Do you think... I was happy with the debut. Me too. Do you think we'll see a Britt Baker and Nyla Rose feud? Talk about that in a little bit. Are they teasing the breakup between Cage and Team Taz? Off and on, they kind of at least with Brian Cage, yes. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We'll have to wait and see. AEW is always better than WWE. Oh, hell yeah, that's for sure. But I do have to get moving because I have to be at my friend's house in 2 hours, so let's get rolling and see what we got here. So, we open up this show with a tag title match, actually. Not AEW's. AEW's Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, the AEW World Champions, taking on Death Triangles, Pac, and Penta El Zero Miedo. They had taken on Death Triangles, Pac and Ray Phoenix before, but not Pac and Penta El Miedo. At the beginning of the match, we see Frankie Kazarian attacking Michael Nakazawa, as they are getting what's it called? They are getting Frank Kazarian kind of like getting going with the singles push since they split up SCU, and obviously Frank Kazarian was get revenge on the Young Bucks for being the reasons for that to happen. So that's why he's kind of been like hunting down the Elite. But the match was good. These guys have good, decent chemistry, I would say. The Young Bucks would eventually win with a folding press from Nick Jackson on the Pac to get the victory. After the match, though, out came Young Bucks started attacking Penta, tearing his mask before setting up the BTE trigger. Because I think there was a spot in the match where they tried to rip off Penta's mask, but there was another mask underneath that one. So they tried to remove the other mask, but then when that happened, Eddie Kingston came out and made the save. Obviously trying to get some revenge on them for taking out Jon Moxley and saying this isn't over yet. Storyline-wise, though, the ending to that match was supposed to write off Jon Moxley, it looks like, because Jon Moxley is getting ready to become a daddy, as Renee Young is due very, very soon. So that's why Moxley's probably going to be taking some time off, which he should, because, if he's not going to win the tag titles, what's there for him to do right now? He had a great run with the world title, as we all know, last year. Like, last year was the year of Moxley. Take a little time off. Take a little break. You deserve it, Mox. And for him to become Daddy Mox, as I'm calling him now. But yeah, Eddie makes the save. Then we get this. This was my favorite moment of the night, of course. Well, first, Tony Schiavone's in the ring to introduce the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, who I think I forgot to mention in my Double or Nothing review. He appeared Double or Nothing, was announced as an analyst for AEW Rampage, which debuts on Fridays on TBS or TNT, one or two, can't remember which one. I think TBS, which will debut on Friday, August 13th. Not sure if I'll watch it or not. Like I said, I don't have any more room to watch any more wrestling, but who knows, maybe I'll check it out. Who knows what it will be, I don't know. But Mark Henry was announced to be an analyst. So he came in and says, I'm not here to fix AEW because AEW is not broken, just to turn the screws. And he asked him, and Schiavone asked him, hey, you gonna wrestle? He goes, right now, I'm not gonna say yes, but I've got a lot left in the tank. So he's kind of in the same position as him and his good buddy Paul White. They're both, Paul White, I'm sorry, no more BS. Paul White definitely wants to wrestle again. He said in his podcast, which I actually listened to again yesterday while I was cooking, but he actually has matches in mind against Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Ray Phoenix, Moxley or Cody, Rusev, Miro, I'm sure, him and Lance. He's got a lot in mind. Mark Henry, well, I haven't heard a podcast from him yet, but I'm sure he has a few in mind, so we'll see if Mark Henry wrestles again, which if he does, cool. We'll have to wait and see. But then they were interrupted by Vicky Guerrero. And I'm like, what is she doing here? It's the only reason why we've seen Vicky Guerrero out here is because of Nyla Rose. She's Nyla Rose's manager, right? They randomly teased a breakup between them at Full Gear when Hikaru Shida took on her for the millionth time. She comes out, though, and says, I'm here to introduce a man. I'm like, oh, newbie, who is it going to be? He's won championships around the world. I'm like, okay. And then this is where I'm like, it's gotta be him. It's gotta be him. She says he's a third-generation wrestler. And when I heard that, it's Lucha Libre, third-generation wrestler, championship around the world. It's gotta be him. It's gotta be him. And sure enough, it was. It was indeed Andrade El Idolo. That's right. Andrade Cien Almas, who was released from WWE back on March 22nd, the same day as Fastlane, right after Fastlane, it was announced he was granted his release. Andrade El Idolo, as he'll be called in AEW, has arrived in AEW. He came out, no music, just came out, shades on, in a suit, looking like really fitting the character. He comes out, he gets on the microphone, he says he used to say that he's the face of Latinos. But today, he's saying he will be the new face of all elite wrestling. And I got chills. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Okay, I'll be the first one to admit, recently with some of these releases in WWE, like, Andrade, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, a few others, I'm starting to feel like I don't think all these guys are going to go to AEW. Because again, AEW, is full. AEW, is very stacked. There's so much talent. Maybe them getting a second show like Rampage will help, get that talent. But what I will give AEW credit for is they try their best to find a spot for the talent they got. They bring in these guys for a reason. Like, Paul White, he may not be wrestling right now, but they brought him in to do color commentary on one of their YouTube shows. I mean, yes, I don't really watch it because I don't have time to watch all those shows. And it feels like it's probably going to be treated like maybe like a main show, like Main Event or something like that. But again, they found something for him to do. Like, they're making everyone in some ways feel relevant. Like Shawn Spears. I love Ty Dillinger. And, Shawn Spears intrigued me. It took them a while, but him being in the Pinnacle, it makes him relevant. Not everyone has to be a world champion, but they have something relevant for them to do, and it stands out. They have a character. So that's why I am all cool with Andrade, with them signing Andrade. And they gave him, his own, spotlight. Like, they didn't debut him at Double or Nothing at the top that they may have done in the Battle Royal. They gave that to Lio Rush, which, okay, we'll see where they go with him. But they gave him his own spotlight, and they gave Vicky Guerrero as his manager. Like, I can trust AEW that they have a direction with Andrade El Idolo. So I'm excited for the matches. And when he says, he wants to be the face of AEW, I can believe that someday they will make him the face of AEW. But to start off, though, I'm asking for this match. There's one match that I want Andrade El Idolo to have at his first pay-per-view match at All Out. I mean, there's definitely tons of people from to work with in AEW. A lot of people that I can definitely see him, tearing the house down with. But there's one person I want to see Andrade have a match with at All Out. It could even be the opener. I want to see Andrade El Idolo versus Rey Fenix. I mean, there's a lot of other guys saying Andrade have great matches. I want to see him have a match with Kenny. I want to see him have a match with Darby. Oh gosh, there's so many people I want to see. Him and Cody. I think they never had a match, of course. Him and Cody. Him and Moxley. Him and Eddie. Him and Pac. I think they have a great match. But the number one match right now for me for Andrade El Idolo, I'm used to saying that now, Andrade El Idolo, is him and Rey Fenix. And Penta El Zero Miedo, but him and Rey Fenix. Oh boy. That gives me a lot of excitement. Again, that should be the opening match for AEW All Out. We'll see where it goes, but that's the number one match I want to see. After that, we had Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson taking on Anthony Ogogo and QT Marshall in a decent match. Like I said, I'm not digging this really anymore. Again, I like Anthony Ogogo, but I'm not really digging QT Marshall and his factory, as he's calling it. But we have Aaron Solo, I think the real life fiance, or I don't know if they're married yet or not, of Bayley. Last I knew, at least. He gets involved and he cheap shots. I think it was Cody or Lee, one of them. And the factory wins, and afterwards, QT Marshall gets on the mic and says he told us all he could do it, and he did. He starts gloating about his win. Then we got a recap of the Stadium Stampede match. Out came the Inner Circle. Of course, a huge thunderous ovation. Jericho thanks everyone for their support before informing the whole crowd that they're getting a Stadium Stampede t-shirt for free, which was all hidden underneath their chairs, which was an awesome thing. The reason Inner Circle is together tonight is because of Sammy Guevara. And Sammy takes a moment to shine, embraces it, thanks to fans, all this and that, blah, 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 and, talks about, how he used to jump off, the top of his roof to do that 630 and all this and stuff, so, he was grateful for that. Santana and Ortiz asked what they really accomplished aside would keep the crew together. They still have to deal with the Pinnacle, though. The real comment, though, would be leaving them lying in a ditch on the side of I-95. Jake Hager then basically says, man up and take their ass whoopings again until they say it's over. Because they're saying it's not over, the Pinnacle. And he wants to pull Wardlow's man card first. He challenged Wardlow, I think in 2 weeks, to an MMA cage fight. So he basically told Wardlow, hey, we're playing on my rules right now. We played on... Basically, this whole promo was... Inner Circle said, we played on your rules with the Stadium Stampede. Now you're playing on our rules here. So, yeah, he challenged Wardlow to an MMA cage match in 2 weeks. Which I think will be pretty good. Because him and Wardlow had a good Haas fight a couple months ago. I'm interested to see what they can do. Because especially if Hager's, done well in MMA. And then we get to Jericho, who claims he gets pissed off when he thinks about MJF. Sam must feel the same, but the difference is MJF tried to end his career and possibly his life. He's never been the same since he was pushed off the top of that cage at Blood and Guts. He must settle the score. Nothing they've done has been enough. Not until he ruins Max's career and the way he tried to ruin his. MJF may call him the GOAT, and he's as good as he thinks he is. He's going to build AEW to the greatest wrestling company in the world, and he must, and he will. He will beat MJF, because the Inner Circle never forgives and never forgets. So, some things to look forward to. Obviously, we're going to probably get a match with Jericho and MJF down the line. We're getting that cage fight with Hager and Wardlow. I'm not sure if you know, FTR and Santana Ortiz will collide. Maybe Sammy and Spears, or Sammy Guevara and MJF. I still say the right move was done having Sammy Guevara get the pinfall victory. Because I feel like he had the biggest character arc in this whole story. With him becoming a babyface, him being the one kind of like who was being forced to leave the Inner Circle but came back. And then he gets like the big winning pinfall. Like, that was awesome. That was, again, was a really nice way to really get Sammy going as a babyface. My thing though is obviously there's probably going to be a third match. I mean, I don't know if the way the finish is going to finish this off is just them all having singles match or tag match with each other. But I feel like they're probably going to do like a trilogy like between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, and I just don't know what that's going to be or where it would go. Like, how could you go from Blood and Guts to Stadium Stampede? Now what are you going to do? So, great promo. I gotta see where this goes, though. We'll just have to wait and see. Mark in the live chat is saying that if Vince is selling WWE, maybe Tony should buy it. Would be nice. He loves Jericho's AEW entrance better than WWE's. And Mox serves time off, and he gave the show an A. Nice. I'm gonna keep rolling here. I've been talking for a while. We also get a vignette with the Best Friends accusing Kenny Omega of cheating Orange Cassidy out of victory. Prompts that this is not over with Kenny and Cassidy. Don Callis and Kenny were editing a highlight package when an interview rolls up. They blow off the Best Friend stuff and suggest that Jungle Boy didn't really earn his title shot either. He's no Jungle Man or Jungle Champion. He's a fun guy to cheer for. And Kenny loves his music, and he even sings a few bars of Jungle Boy's music. Getting ready to really make Jungle Boy a big star of that match on June 26th, and I cannot wait. If I'm watching that live, which now I probably won't be watching it live, but if I can somehow do live reactions, I may do live reactions for that match. Just maybe. But I'm probably not going to be able to watch it live because I do have plans that day, I believe. Speaking of Jungle Boy, He had a match teamed up with Christian Cage taking on Private Parties, Isaiah Cassidy, and Mark Quinn. Solid match. Christian Cage and Jungle Boy win the submission with the snare trap from Jungle Boy onto Mark Quinn. After the match, Hardy gets a twist of fate on Christian on the ramp, and then Jungle Boy runs him off. So I guess we're getting a feud with Matt Hardy and Christian Cage. I'll take it. Again, they have history. I'll take a singles match between them. Be pretty good. Not sure if they'll do it, probably during the summer, or if we'll wait until All Out. But I'll take that. I dig it. We also get a video package from Team Taz about what happened at Double or Nothing. Taz challenging Hangman to a tag match, and a partner of his choice against Brian Cage and Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Testing still, whether Team Taz is still on the same page or not, because obviously Cage didn't want their help, and he's teased a face turn here and there, but we'll see. We had an interview with Darby Allin and Sting, which Sting takes most of the interview, saying how incredible his experience at wrestling was. He will never forget the other night. He thanks everyone, but then Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page pop up on the Titantron clapping, congratulating him, and says he knows why they call him the Icon now. He even smells good. He was so good, he even dragged Darby Allin over the finish line. Page says if it wasn't for Sting, Darby would be laying in the crowd where he threw him to. He calls Allin a spineless, competent bitch, and Scorpio Sky challenges Darby to find a tag partner that isn't Sting and prove them wrong. So I guess now they're focusing on continuing the feud between Darby and Sky and Page now. Okay. We'll see what happens with that, as Sting is not in the picture for his next tag match. We'll wait and see, though. We also have everyone in the ring to celebrate Dr. Britt Baker's AEW Women's World Championship victory. She comes out and says everybody gets freebies, but she's going to one-up Chris Jericho because she gifted burger coupons to celebrate her win, calling herself La Champion instead of Les Champions, La Champion. And everybody has one taped to the bottom of their seats. Except wait, they're all with her in the ring where they belong, because she did all the work and no one was along for a ride with her from day one. So she says D.M.D are the three letters that are going to take this company to a new level before inviting two people along for the ride with her to toast the burgers, which were Rebel and her friend Tony Schiavone. They're about to toast, but then Nyla Rose smacks the burgers out of their hands and throws the rest into the crowd. Weird, but okay. I guess we're getting Britt's first offense against Nyla Rose. They had a good match in the AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament, but I'd say maybe keep that for like a summer special. I don't know, as a pay-per-view match, I don't know. Like, one would have to turn face. They're both good as heels. I don't know. I just don't see it being a pay-per-view match. But it'd be a good match to have on live TV. So, we'll see where that goes. But I cannot tell you how happy I finally am that they're capitalizing on Dr. Britt Baker, putting the championship on her. Because like I said, she is the Kenny Omega of the women's division. They didn't want to, with how good she is, like how obvious that she's the biggest name in this women's division, they did not want to put her on top immediately. But with her injuries, it was taking a little bit longer to get to it. But I think they finally capitalized at the right time with her being champion. So I want to see her get a nice long reign out of this. We'll see how long it is. Again, but if Hikaru Shida, who again did a great job as champion, got a long reign, Britt Baker should get one too. And she should get is a PNG image of her holding that championship. We'll see though. It should come one day. But yes, I'm glad they finally put the belt on Britt, and we'll see where they go with her. Eddie Kingston's backstage when Death Triangle Robin told him we don't need their help and to keep their nose out of his business. Eddie kept it short and sweet and said the enemy of his enemy is his friend, and they should let that marinate in their brains. And I guess they're having a tag match next week with Death Triangle, and then I think it is was it the Young Bucks and Nakazawa? I can't remember who the third member of the Elite was going to be. Maybe Kenny? I can't remember. I don't think it was Kenny. But it's going to be Penta, El-Zero, Pac, and Eddie King taking on 3 members of the Elite, basically. Red Velvet and Bunny had a decent little match, and Red Velvet won. And also, we're going to be getting Evil Uno taking on Miro next week for the TNT Championship, which Miro wasn't too pleased with. And also, he was talking about his hot wife. He can start talking about his wife now because she's free from that place. He's told that they can take that brass ring and shove it up their ass. But, yeah, once Lana's 90-day no-compete clause is done, she's coming to AEW. She's coming to AEW and going to be by Miro's side. What her name's going to be? CJ? I don't know what they'll call her in AEW. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure she's coming to AEW. And then the main event, I didn't really get to watch. That's when my family was arriving. But Dustin Rhodes defeated Nick Comoroto in a bull rope match. I didn't really get to watch. I didn't get to see it though, so I can't really judge it. But Dustin won. And that's gonna do it, guys. I gotta get moving. I gotta meet my friends in about an hour and 45 minutes. So got a few things to do. We will roll from there, though, guys. Thank you for joining me live. Again, I'll give the show a B+. B+. Few things on the show that were great. Some stuff that was like the inner circle stuff's like, sounds good. I gotta see where it goes, though. And then, some things that was like, meh. Mostly the stuff with, again, QT Marshall and Anthony Ogogo and Cody Rhodes and all of them, But other than that, great stuff. But definitely my highlight of the night, Andrade El Idolo's debut. Like I said, AEW All Out, opening match, Andrade El Idolo and Rey Fenix. If he can have excellent matches with Rey Mysterio on SmackDown in WWE, imagine what they can do in AEW with Rey Fenix and Andrade El Idolo. We'll wait and see. But guys, that's going to do it. Again, nothing else in the live chat. That's going to do it, guys. I have plans the rest of the day. And tomorrow, well, I'm going to try. I did last night start playing Harry Potter again. Again, I've had a busy couple weeks, but I'm going to get back on that Let's Play for Half-Blood Prince. We're going to keep that moving. I'll try to get the next part uploaded tonight. Depends on what's going on with my sister because she's in town for the day at a bridal shower. She might be home, but she might not. She had a family emergency with her fiance's family. So we'll see what happens with that. But expect it hopefully sometime this weekend, the next part of that Let's Play. Get that Let's Play rolling again. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it. Again, B+ for Dynamite this week. Looking forward to seeing what we get next from the All Elite brand. What are your thoughts on this show, guys? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure to always slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content to my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBronny3. Again, there's a new man claiming to be the face of AEW, and AEW in the women's division is going to be ran by D.M.D. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll catch y'all later, guys. Peace out, everybody.